Welcome to End Screen Noise. My name is Lloyd and the date today is April 25th, 2019. In February, a Sandvine report on the mobile habits of users was released, and it had some very interesting data. One of the most interesting points was that 35% of all worldwide mobile traffic is from YouTube. Now, some of you might be surprised by that. Some of you who watch our channel might be less surprised by that because we've long talked about why YouTube is so great for the mobile device. I mean, it's an app that you can just download. You can start watching content immediately. They stream at very low bit rates. The videos are quite short, so it's convenient when you're going to work or when you're on the bus or something like that, or the train. Wherever you are, it's very convenient to watch a quick YouTube video. Now, this was a lot higher than it was for other applications, especially Netflix. Actually, Netflix only had 15% of worldwide mobile traffic, and YouTube was the highest in every single region, including the Americas, APAC, which is Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Now, one of the reasons why YouTube is so much higher than Netflix on the mobile device is that Netflix is more convenient for when you have time to sit down and kind of watch a serious drama or something like that. So you might want a bigger screen, bigger than your phone at least, and you might want to sit down kind of after work on the couch or in a chair or something like that, and you won't be watching it in a place where you necessarily need to use your mobile phone. However, YouTube was not just higher than Netflix, it was higher than everybody else by a large margin. But there were some surprising finishers in the top three, one of them being Snapchat. Now, we've talked about Snapchat on End Screen Noise before. Actually, I mentioned a couple weeks ago how Snapchat seemed to be running into some problems after it had lost users, actually, for the first time. But the users have climbed back up to around 190 million, so the changes and the updates that were made, people are becoming more acclimatized to it. And Snapchat does very, very well with the young, with teenagers, young adults. They like to share videos a lot on Snapchat. It's because the video disappears, they don't really need to think about what they're sending too much, so the engagement is very, very high for the users that are on there. And it's especially useful for a messaging device. For instance, in the Middle East, where a secondary messaging application is very, very useful, like WhatsApp or Snapchat is also a great way to message people. And it's where people have been messaging each other a lot on there too, not just with their videos, but you can also type words out. You can comment on people's pictures, and so it's a very, very social application when it comes to video here. But that wasn't the only social application that surprised me during this study. The most surprising application that was listed was an app called TikTok. Now, some of you might have heard of TikTok. It used to be called Musical.ly, but it was bought by a Chinese tech company. They merged it with their current application that they had and then re-released it about 2 years ago in China, about a year and maybe 3 to 4 months ago in the United States. The application has grown tremendously in the past year. In fact, in October, it was the most downloaded application in the App Store. Over 250 million monthly users are using it as of the end of 2018. And it skews incredibly young. So this generation is before the Snapchat users, actually, if you can imagine that. These are the tweens, the preteens, because Snapchat tends to be with teens and young adults. These are even younger. Now, why are there so many people being drawn to this new application? Don't they have enough social media apps to be watching? Well, it turns out a lot of the social media apps, when you ask these young kids why they're turning to them, they see Facebook as being a place where people kind of get very political on there a lot of times. And the manicured aesthetic of Instagram can be a little bit daunting as well. And Twitter is full of, according to them, a lot of haters and trolls. So it's useful for them to have an application where they can just kind of get away from all that, relax, and just watch a quick 3 to 15 second video to make them laugh, to make them relate to something. It's a little bit of an escape. And it reminds me a lot about what Vine was back in the day. So I did a study, released it about 3 months ago on the In-Screen Media site, about Vine, why it was so popular, and why it ultimately failed. Now, TikTok has a lot of similarities to Vine, not just because of the short format, but because of why people are attracted to it. It fits kind of a niche that I felt was left after Vine left, with kids wanting to see these very, very short form videos and also wanting a little bit of an escape. Now, there's a lot of problems with TikTok, including their ability to pay the people that are actually coming forward and producing content for them. So if they figure that out, that will be a huge help to them. But for the moment, they have a lot of work work and kinks to figure out in their system. So it still remains to be seen if TikTok will become successful, but for the moment, YouTube is remaining as dominant as ever on the mobile devices. Snapchat is also doing really well despite a lot of the initial investor predictions that Instagram was stealing a lot of its audiences and people were dropping off. The users still remain committed to the application, and TikTok, although we don't know if it's going to be successful, is becoming very, very attractive for users. So these short form videos, a lot of brands should take note about how popular they are with the youth. So thanks for tuning in. If anything happens with these companies in the future, you can bet we'll be covering it here at End Screen Noise. We'll see you again next time.